YouTube, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, as you can see from the title and the thumbnail, I'm definitely talking to you guys about your last minute grinds for ranked in Teamfight Tactics set 17. This set was awful. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and be one of those people that is just lying about the entire thing, but this set was just completely awful to play for various reasons. And one of those reasons is there not being too much flex play. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, there's flex play. There is, not to the extent that there was in like previous sets or anything, because a lot of the times, especially in this set in particular, you have to be meeting certain conditions and criteria in order to even flex to begin with, or to run some of the uh top comps. So what I'm going to do in this video is talk to you guys about a few comps that I've been running, and I've really been running only like one of these comps in particular. I literally just have all the comps that I have been playing and choosing between, and I have a checklist to determine which one of these comps I am going to play. And just to show you guys kind of like the comps, ignore vertical meeple, that was just for something else. And also Tempo Victor, ignore this because this was also for something else, but I still use it for a reason. So there's like quite a few different comps here, as you can see, quite a bit of different comps that I have on my list here that I typically have been playing. And one of those comps typically is Stargazer Lulu. And we also have Primordial Jinx Reroll. That's an option. Space Groove, always really good. Yi Marauder, as well as Shepherd LeBlanc. And then we also have the Tempo Victor up here, which I really only have just for the sake of just getting like a basis of a Victor comp, and then just kind of just swap, because this is like the original Victor comp, but I just kind of use this as like a basis, and then I just flip over to do Conduit Misfortune Victor instead of just this original version of Tempo Victor. So that's kind of like the thing here. But in this particular set here, though, what I have been doing is I've been going through a checklist. And one of the things that I start off with is by checking the psionic item by using my Tempo Victor comp on the team planner already, and then see if I can get a really good item for either Victor, which is the drone uplink, or the malware matrix for Yi Marauders. So here for this comp. And if I don't get either one of those, or if I get like a good start for something else, then I will just flop over. Most times than not, I will just switch over and pivot over to something else other than Victor, because I just feel like it's been unnecessary for me to run Victor at all recently. So the main thing is for my checklist is I will check for a psionic item, see what the item is. If it's not malware matrix, then I won't run anything psionic specific. Like I won't run Victor and I won't run Yi. So that's just kind of like out of the bag. And then the next thing I choose or take a look at is the Stargazer, and see what kind of Stargazer it is. If it's a mountain or medallion, if it's one of those two, then I will be running Stargazer Lulu reroll and be playing this comp here. And then obviously, like at the end, if you do happen to go to 8, and then obviously you can just run Rost as well, throw Rost in there, kind of like the capstone everything out there for an example. And then if I don't have a good Stargazer, though, if I don't have either one of those, then I'll look towards my starter and see what I have. Like if I have like a really, really good start towards Shepherd, then I'll probably run Shepherd. If I have like a really good Samira start for a Space Groove, or I just have like really, really good Space Groove start, then I will pretty much just run Space Groove. So it just depends on what I get. If I get like I said, a really, really good Shepherd start, like if I have like pretty much my Shepherds that I need, because if you like, say for an example, I have the Meepsy early on, and then I also have Lysandra and Teemo. That gives me obviously Shepherd start because I have my 3 Shepherd. Then I'll just kind of tend to go towards that. But if I don't get the the Meepsy early on or the Alawi or anything like that. And if I do get like a Gwen for an example here, as well as like get like a 2-star pretty much Nasus like right out of the gate, and a Teemo for Star Guardian, or not Star Guardian, Space Groove, if I could even remember what the hell I'm talking about. But for Space Groove, and if I also have for an example a Leona as well to get that Vanguard buff out there. Like if I have like the really good start of having the Teemo and Nasus out there with like a Gwen on the bench as well as a Leona for Vanguard, then I'm pretty much going for a Space Groove 100%. If I don't reach the criteria or meet the conditions for any of those comps at all, then I will just pivot and just continue forcing out Primordial Jinx, because it doesn't matter if I win. All that matters is if I don't go bottom 4. And Primordial Jinx, especially if you are hitting everything and if you are playing it properly and, you know, getting all of your items that you need for Primordial Jinx, it is really, really strong and should at least reach you within the top 4. So that's kind of like the whole idea there, the whole concept there for all the comps and the checklist and whatnot. But how does this actually work in game? That's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to go into a game and show you guys how exactly I run this. We're not going to do it in ranked, although we could do it in ranked, but I'm just going to do it in a norms game for now. I already reached my goal in my rank, which is Emerald. So I hit Emerald. I'm fine. I'm not going back and forcing myself to try to win ranked games right now. So there's that. But let's go into a game and show you guys how to actually properly utilize this strategy and picking one of these comps. And these are like me utilizing these comps without, like, you know, most people use Meta TFT. Some people use TFT Academy, but I'm not using either one of those sites. So keep that in mind. I'm not using either one of them for this game to show you how that you can utilize this. And I've even utilized this strategy when playing on the go on my phone as well, to be able to get my top 4s, my placements, and keep slowly climbing up that LP ladder to get to Emerald. So this should help you definitely when on the go, because you obviously have to have knowledge of like, okay, well, I can play these items on this champion. And as long as you know like the best items, if you know BIS on majority of the champions, then you should be fine to just play around with whatever the game gives you, including items, and then be able to pivot to different items you're not able to hit the items that you need. So there's that. But we're going to wait until we get into a game here, and then we will be right back. All right, now we are in a game officially. And as you can see here, we have Kale and we have Yasuo. So these are two of the best gods to really have in the game. I mean, both are really, really good. It just depends on what they give you here. But if I'm not getting any good items, then I'm not going to worry too much about Kale. I'm just going to go towards something else. But anyway, same thing as I always do. We're going to check the item, psionic item, and it is neither the items that we need, so we're not really going to worry about that. But we do have the psionic emblem, and we did get a misfortune, so you know, we could have used misfortune. We could go for challenger here early on, but we also have that this little base here of Leona as well as Nasus, so that could definitely be something. And we got Serpent Stargazer, which is really, really good for Xayah, but I don't really want to focus too much onto Xayah because some people will be going towards Darkstar, and especially with Darkstar, it's kind of obnoxious to try to play against, especially because they're going to go for that Darkstar sniper combo there. So yeah, we do have Arbiter here, so then we can get like every 4 seconds gaining permanent health, or all Arbiters gain 10 ability power, so that would be really, really good here to build into that. And then I'm gonna take those out because I don't really think it's necessary. We do have the Challenger emblem, so if we did have to, we could easily go towards Primordial Jinx, because Primordial Jinx would be really, really good with the Challenger emblem for sure, for the sake of getting extra challengers out there. Let's see what we get here. Heavy is the crown, heroic grab bag, no scout, no pivot. We got advanced loan as well. I think all three of these are pretty solid, just depending on what comp that you are playing on. But like I said, we do have the challenger emblem, so there is the possibility of us actually going for a Primordial Jinx reroll. So I just want to go with the advanced loan here, but we did get Space Groove, so it's a good thing that I did not pivot away from what I was doing here, and instead I'm gonna do this. So good thing that I did what I did when I did. So now what I got to do here is I'm gonna make sure that I have some good items. So for an example, we kind of want to have gargoyles, so we're just gonna put that on at the moment. We're going to make sure to put that on as well. Do that. And we don't really have any challengers out there. The holder gains a challenger trying to take down the holder's next 3 attacks. Heal for 5% of max health, which I feel like could be good on like quite a few, but I'm just going to put that on Gwen for now. Psionic trait doesn't really give me really anything specific, but does give me really, really good doesn't really get stats. I'll just throw that on Leona because that does give you plus 300 HP. Gives me some extra AP as well for my shield, and that's pretty good. And then also that attack speed is also pretty solid there. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Is like, even though I don't really care too much for emblems or emblem ensemble, but it's definitely good just to take a look at the emblems that you do have and what they do. Like for the example here, I just went ahead and put Bastion on because it gives you 30 armor and magic resist. And after the first 10 seconds of combat, the holder gains 70% attack speed, which is also really, really good just in general. So then he can just get those empowered attacks off when he does ascend. So yeah, so somebody else also has a Gwen out here and has the Gwen with Meeple and also Brawler. So that's just kind of annoying there. Which is fine and dandy, but we're not really worried too much about losing here in the early game, because that's the misconception, is like you have to win streak or you have to lose streak or anything like that. All that really matters is gold. So because I was able to get advanced loan, which means I'm gonna get like a silver augment here on my next turn, should be silver anyway, then that means I had that extra gold. I'm not really too worried about anything else. I'm just worried about my gold, saving up my gold, and being able to kind of out tempo everybody else. So as you can see, we are going to win this one pretty easily. Win this one pretty easily. Which means that our next Space Groove is going to be 5. We have Tear the Goddess, which is going to be pretty good, but we also have Storm Hex. I don't really care too much about Storm Hex for majority of reasons, but it might not be too bad. But I am going to go with Tear the Goddess because we are going to need a Shojin. And we also... We need like a lot of... I mean, I also definitely do need another one. So I needed 2 tiers, one for Shojin. Well, technically 2. Technically like 2 Shojins. But we need Spirit Visage for sure for whenever we get Ornn. That's going to be very, very important here. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. Level up here. And then we got the Samira, which is really, really good that I got the Samira early. And I'm going to do that for now, just to get an item out there. And we also kind of need to really focus on... We need to focus on other things as well. such as making sure that we have practically everybody here getting their items or whatnot. But we need to focus on getting to 8 as fast as possible at this point. Now that we are at 2-5, we are at level 5. We have over 40 gold, which is going to be pretty good for us to be able to just, you know, start going fast 8 tier. Not really focusing too much on anything else, but whenever we do get Ornn out there, we are going to have that Bastion emblem be able to work out and get it, giving us a Bastion buff with just these two out there, not having to worry about the Shen until later on. Getting level 9 is going to be pretty solid eventually as well, but we are here not really too focused on, you know, kind of rolling or anything because we are in a very, very good spot. Now, one thing that we could easily be doing is going for Jeweled Gauntlets, but I don't think Jeweled Gauntlet is really that necessary here, considering that we are going to be utilizing this needlessly large rod in particular for the sake of getting the Namicon. We're going for Namicon, which is one of the items for Nami. But we could also use Jeweled Gauntlet for Blitzcrank as well. Just really depends. If I find like another glove and everything, then that could be an option. Got another Samira here at level 5, which is good. Hopefully at level 6 we can start seeing some more 3 cost. And hopefully we can also get Ornn, so then we can have 5 Space Groove out here. We also need quite a bit of BF swords. Speaking of, there's one of them. One of the BF swords that we needed. There's also quite a few items here that we got that we could utilize, because we could utilize Void Staff for Nami, which definitely helps out with the Blitzcrank damage as well. And then we also obviously have Shojin and Last Whisper, which is what I'm going to do here. And then obviously we could utilize this tier for another Shojin if we ever do get to that point. But I'm not even re-rolling. I'm in a really, really good spot. I'm just saving my gold for now, so then I can have, you know, plenty of gold to be able to get the 6, which, you know, I am able to get the 6 right now if I wanted to. This person has a very tanky front line here, but that's really not gonna matter too much. They don't really have too much damage output besides for that Caitlyn in the back line, but they do have a lot of tank. So it is going to be very, very tricky here. We just have to make sure that we get through this front line, which we are, with the Gwen and Samira Wombo combo, as obviously Nasus is tanking everything. Did not lose a single unit in that fight. Now we have Corrosion, Small Grab Bag, Recombobulator. Not really too worried about Recombobulator. Corrosion, don't really care too much about currently. And then, yeah, I mean, this is really, really good, but I want this small grab bag because I'm trying to get all my items. And we do get some really good items here, including Tear the Goddess and Chain Vest. So obviously we have plenty of tiers, which I need. So these are all the tiers that I believe I need. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to see. Wow, that's an early Yi. But we could also just go ahead and do this for now. And there's another Samira here, so then we can roll a little bit more. We got that Teemo as well, which is good. And then we got the Gwen as well. Perfectly at 50 gold. And this person is running Primordian Jinx reroll, so good thing that we did not go with the Primordian Jinx reroll. They do have patient study, so that's pretty interesting to me that they are running it, considering that they do have patient study. because I don't think that's 100% necessary. You kind of want to stay at level 5 and 6 as long as possible, especially level 6, so then you can get your Akalis, your Belvets, although it's like your Belvets and um, your Primordians are going to be easy to get, but the problem is you need your Jinx and your Collies, and level 6 is kind of like that spot that you need to be in order to maximize your chance here, because you get the 40% chance at 2 costs. So that's kind of why you should be really focusing on the ability of staying at 6 as long as possible. So I don't really like patient study there for a reroll comp. More so of a of like an early lose streak comp, like Anima would be really good for patient study if you wanted to go that route, to be able to go from patient study, Anima squad into sniper, Zaya, or anything like that. There's another BF sword here, so it does seem like we might go Kale instead of Yasuo, even though Yasuo has the 3 mana regen one, which is pretty damn good. So we could potentially go with the BF sword. We could go with the Yasuo thing. This is kind of like tricky. I guess it doesn't matter what I want, but I am going to pick the Belveth, though, for getting at least a giant spell. So we did get the BF sword at least. So there's that. So that's half of a Death Blade there, or an IE, whichever one that we prefer here. And we do have the Giant's Belt for Morellonomicon, which is going to be pretty solid. I'm going to take that off of Teemo and just put it on, obviously, our Gwen there. And I'm also going to put in a chain vest onto Leona. And I usually would go to 7 here, but I kind of want to stay over 50 just so that when I do hit 7, then I can just start slow rolling on 7 for my Samiras and Orns. So I'm just going to roll there, or, buy there, and then just wait this out. We could also go ahead and get the Shojin that we could possibly utilize for Nami. Not really too worried about it, though. We do need an Ornn, and we definitely do need a Blitzcrank. So it's just kind of that situation here of this person also having Primordian. That's interesting. They have Darkstar Sniper emblems, so it's pretty interesting that they're going Primordian Nova here. Not the Primordian Jinx. They don't have the Jinx out there. But it's pretty interesting. They don't have the Jinx out there, but they do have Nova out there, and they have the Kindred, so maybe they're trying to get that Jinx, and they just happen to not get it. Which I see the Jinx there. That is an early-ass Jin pull. Too bad we don't need it. And then we do have a Space Groove emblem, which means I can do that. And I can also take all this off. I can still do that, though. That's just kind of unfortunate. But we can... We can do that, at least for now. And I'm not even going to focus on the match here just because I'm going to just start rolling. And there's a Nami. So which means that I can take out the Jax, put the Nami in, and then immediately have 7 Space Groove. Okay, we have Soul Awakening, Call to Chaos, Radiant Rascal. I don't really care too much about that. Invested plus plus would be really, really good here. So now we have 7 Space Groove, if I can even speak. 7 Space Groove. Without even needing the Blitzcrank, which is really, really good. And we're also getting our Cimmerian Ornn. Ooh, didn't quite get the 3-star out there right away. But we do have the 3-star pretty much right out of the gate here. It's pretty good. Pretty solid positioning that we do have on everything. Teemo's dead. That's fine. I definitely need to take off the Namicon off of Gwen so then I can put it on Nami here. But we do have the 3-star Samira. And if anything, I'll just take that off and do that. We are in pretty good position right now. We are in a good spot just in general. Because we have our Vanguard still out here, and we were allowed to keep our Vanguard out here while getting the 7 Space Groove because of the spatula that we were given. And now we just wreck shop on everybody. And another you know, kind of like flex champion that put out there is somebody that is Sniper. You can flex Sniper out there for your Samira. You can also do Challenger if you have like a lot of like AP items for Blitzcrank and you're holding them onto your if you're holding those items on Gwen, for an example, your Blitzcrank items, like your Jeweled Gauntlet, your Hand of Justice, all that stuff. There's another Samira. Don't think that we need it. There's a glove here, which I think could be pretty solid. Doesn't really matter. Didn't get to choose in time. That's unfortunate. Doesn't really matter, though. I'm going to take that off just so I can do that. And if I ever like skip over like any particular champions on accident, it's mostly just because of me just really focusing so much on everything else, unlike me getting my Ornn. This person also has Space Groove, but it doesn't really matter because my Ornn is tanking everything. And we are dealing a lot of damage with our Samira Nami duo here, so that's pretty good. They have a 3-star Gwen. We also have... We had the Riven here. The Riven is also usually really, really good with the Space Groove emblem. So I'm going to pull the Riven out here. Because if I get, like, once I get the Blitzcrank, then I can pretty much have, like, 8 different Space Groove out here. Be able to have my Vanguard because Blitzcrank is Vanguard. And then I can just have Rogue out there for my Gwen with Space Groove on Riven. Absolutely insane game that we are playing here. I mean, we have pretty much gotten everything that we needed. We have played it to perfection, pretty much. I kind of need a Giant's Belt. I need at least a Giant's Belt and a sword. And we got the Giant's Belt sword combo. So then we got Giant's Belt, and then we got sword. So we're just going to go with IE here. And then I guess we'll just do Bramble Vest here. I'm just going to take that off for now. Put that there. Just so I can do that for now. There's that. And then we will eventually go to 8 here in a couple rounds. Because we have Biss on Ornn. So that's going to be really, really good. Just taking out that Akali instantly. Just that damage is cracked from the 3-star Samira, especially now that we have the IE, so pretty much everything is critting at this point. It's pretty solid. And then just imagine that all the extra damage from the damage amp here. So next turn, we will go ahead and get the Riven out there, and then we will also swap over... I guess I can't because I don't really have any things, but we'll put the Riven out there just so that we can have the Riven. And then once we do get the Riven out there and then we do get the Blitzcrank, I can just take, you know, the item off of, like, I can just sell the Leona, put the Space Groove item onto Riven. And then that is an elimination for us. Space Groove being one of the top comps to use to win games, because I feel like majority of my first places have been using this comp in particular. We are going to get the Riven out there alongside the Gwen. Now we just really need to focus on possibly getting to 9, so then we can also get to Shen and then be able to have Shen out there as well, which is not 100% necessary, especially now, considering that, you know, we already have the Bastion buff out there with the emblem, but it will definitely help out tremendously getting Shen, just so that we can use his Bulwark trait as well with his sword. So that will be coming in handy for sure. Person has Samiras, but it's too late. I don't need Samiras anymore. We have Void Staff or Mogs or a completed item, but we got the Void Staff here to put onto our Nami. That is going to be very, very good. So we are in the best possible position for us to be in currently. That's all I'm going to say. Like, this is literally the best position for us to be in. We're top 4. We're on a 16-game win streak. Like I said earlier, it doesn't matter if we like win or lose streak early on, considering that we were still in a good spot with us being able to get our advanced alone with 20 gold. Then we got, 2 random item components, which gave us, a couple items that we definitely used, and then invested plus after already going for tempo, saving gold, saving all that, gold early on. So that just kind of put us in a very, very good position to be able to utilize invested plus. Although we didn't really utilize the shop rerolls for it, but it definitely did help us get into a position where then we rolled down from like 100 gold or whatever it was, all the way down until we were able to get our 3-star Samira. So that's definitely what helped us tremendously. But I'm not rolling or anything. I'm just staying here, making sure that, like I said, we're on a 17 win streak currently. We are in the best position that we could possibly be in. The only thing that we are truly missing is Blitzcrank, because then once we get the Blitzcrank out here, we can get rid of the Leona, still have the Vanguard buff, still have the 7 Space Groove, but then we go 8 Space Groove by putting that emblem on our Riven. So that's going to be pretty damn good there. We are facing somebody that is running Meeple, Meeple Brawler, but of course the tank is already out of the game. Our Leona getting kind of, dominated, but that's fine. Kind of a distraction for us to be able to take out the Cho'Gath with everybody else. And somebody else got eliminated. And we are still doing really, really good on our XP here in gold. So we don't really need to worry too much about forcing a level out. Considering that here at 6-1, we should be able to go to 9 anyway, with 60 gold. And we just level up here and see what we can get our hands on. I don't see anything too important, but one thing I definitely could do is just, I could just throw out another rogue, because why not? Give us a really big boost to our Gwen. And we also have Striker's Flail as well. I don't think any of these are 100% necessary, but we could just go ahead and put that on Riven, because why not? The Akali trying to attack my back line, which is fine. You can easily do that, but I have Rogue and you also have Edge of Night. But that's fine. Super easy. Easy fight. Easy fight. There's a Riven. But the Riven is not as important as just getting the Nami out there. Not worried about the Shen, because like I said, we have the Bastion buff out there. So that's, not too important. Although, like I said, we could do it, but I do see a Jhin out here, so I can get that sniper buff, though. I'm just going to pass on the Shen for now, because we are winning even without the that extra Bastion out there with the Bulwark trait. And we do have the sniper buff, so Samir is just kind of hooking here. And that is a GG for this guy or gal. not really seeing the not really seeing the Blitzcrank here, which is fine because we are still in a very, very good spot at 9. We do have the Vanguard out there. We got Bastion out there. That's the two most important things that we need out there anyway. Alongside with the 7 Space Groove, we're fine. We got the Sniper out there. We got the extra Rogue out there as well, just as like an extra added on bonus because we are still in such a good spot for everything else. Because we are dealing so much damage, and that is going to be a GG. We have absolutely dominated this lobby with only 1 loss in this game, if I recall properly. 95 HP. That is how you just go from the beginning of the game all the way until the very end to be able to figure out what you need and how to necessarily build it. So I hope that this little gameplay showed you guys exactly how you should be playing it. I mean, I told you guys about the different flexes that I could have done, in the fact that I could have just gone with Primordian Jinx reroll because I got Challenger emblem, but I decided to skip on that because I did get the Leona, I did get the Nasus, I got an early Gwen with the Teemo as well. I got a really good Space Groove starter. I was able to eventually, like, in although it's like the only true emblem that really mattered out of those 3 that we got at the beginning was the Bastion one, but being able to also get that Space Groove emblem definitely helped out tremendously, seeing as how, as you can see, we did not get the Blitzcrank, but that was the most important part about this, the fact that we didn't even need the Blitzcrank. So we were kind of able to not worry about rolling or anything like that. We just kind of we let it happen. If we lost, we lost. If we won, we won. But we just let it happen, saved gold, and that's why gold is everything when it comes to TFT. So I appreciate everybody for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy and if this kind of helped you out a little bit on, kind of like understanding, how to like kind of like pivot from one concept to the next, being like, okay, well, what should I play? I kind of want to play this, but do you meet the condition for it? No. Okay. Do I meet the condition for this one? No. Okay. Well, I have this here, so I could possibly run this. And then, you see something else pop up that gives you a better opportunity. So imagine what would have happened if I did go with Primordial Jinx reroll. As you can see, this person running Belveth and, Belveth Nova. So that was off the table. Another Nova Primordian here, and then you see somebody that actually did go with the Primordian Jinx reroll, got the 3-star Jinx, got the Belveth, got the Akali, all 3-star, and even had a Primordian emblem early on as well. So that was, pretty solid for them. They didn't even have like any of their other emblems out there, which is unfortunate because I feel like they could have just utilized some extra emblems out there just to have some traits and some buffs on some of the champions. But as you can see, we did have the Psionic emblem that really didn't do too much, but gave some stats. But we got the Space Groove emblem. We got the Bastion emblem as well, which definitely does give us some really, really good stats. And then also the Challenger emblem, which gave us some really, really good buffs as well, which is pretty good. But we also got best in slot for Nami. We got best in slot items for Ornn, and we also got best in slot for Samira. Although, i.e., you could switch over to get a Death Blade instead of IE. You could really do either. But since I couldn't get that extra BF sword right there and then for the Death Blade, I just went with IE, which obviously still works. Either one is really, really good. So if you have to pick and choose between BF or like trying to get another BF sword for Death Blade because you already have one, or just putting on the IE there, I'd say just get the IE as like a last resort, so you don't have to try to fish for the ladder or for the Death Blade. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Make sure to leave a like, comment your feedback in the comment section down below. If you guys want to see some more TFT gameplay, especially when set 18 drops, I'll definitely be streaming a lot of TFT for set 18. I'll be playing a lot, so if you guys want to see me actually like recording when I'm not live streaming, then let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later, everybody.